A Fox News alert to start us off here, and really no surprise, but FBI Director Christopher Wray has announced that he is going to be ending his tenure as the FBI Director earlier than the end of his 10-year term, which, again, is not surprising, as Donald Trump has said he wants Kash Patel to head up the FBI in the new administration. David Spunt, live at the Justice Department with the breaking news for us. David?
Well, John, Christopher Wray, the FBI director, is making this announcement right now in an all-staff town hall with thousands of FBI employees across the country. He says now is his time to go. As you mentioned, he has a 10-year term. All FBI directors do. He was 7 years into his 10-year term, and realistically, he had two options. Wait to be fired by President-elect Donald Trump because Trump announced Kash Patel would take over, or bow out before. He has chosen to bow out before. Wray is a former Republican lawyer, former DOJ prosecutor here in Washington, D.C., hired by Trump in 2017 after Trump fired James Comey after the entire Russia investigation probe. And Wray pretty much stayed out of the headlines as much as he could, at least. But in 2022, former President Trump became increasingly angry when the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago during the classified documents investigation. Of course, that was ordered by Attorney General Merrick Garland, who oversees the Justice Department, not Christopher Wray. But nonetheless, Christopher Wray saw the future and saw that it is his time to go. So he will be stepping down as Kash Patel, the upcoming FBI director, if confirmed, is on Capitol Hill. So the director right now is making this announcement to an all-staff meeting. We're waiting to get some wording of some of his comments, but not a complete surprise. But this is how he is ending his career at the FBI. And I will notice, John and Sandra, that we don't have an exact end date yet, but we're told it will obviously be for the inauguration, probably sometime in January, but they are still working out those details.
So he's firing himself before he actually gets fired when Trump steps into office, because we already have his replacement. And that replacement is Kash Patel, who you guys are probably familiar with. I've talked about him in past videos, and we're going to talk about him a little bit more today. But of course, mainstream media isn't too happy about Mr. Wray firing himself.
I think it's going to be very difficult, and I'm very disappointed that Director Wray decided to resign. I think Director Wray has carried out his responsibilities with integrity, professionalism during very difficult and challenging times over the last 7 years, and he was appointed to a 10-year term, and he accepted a 10-year term. And right now, his decision to leave tends to legitimize what Donald Trump is doing in terms of appointing someone else. I don't think it would be any problem if he stayed in place and had Donald Trump remove him. I mean, that certainly is a president's prerogative, even though there is a 10-year term on the FBI director role. But by doing this, I do think it's going to leave the men and women of the FBI sort of wondering what their future is going to look like, particularly if somebody like Kash Patel, a real sycophant of Donald Trump, is actually going to get through the confirmation process. So although I respect Director Wray, and I'm sure that his decision was based on how he evaluated the impact on the Bureau and the workforce, I just think that was a decision that should not have been made at this point, and he should have stayed through the transition to the new administration.
Stay and get fired. Stay and get fired. Well, Chris Wray sees the writing on the wall. Kash Patel is coming. He will be confirmed. They can't deny him.
Are you going to be seeking retribution against Donald Trump's political opponents, sir?
Sorry, what's your reaction to that resignation? We look forward to a very smooth transition at the FBI, and I'll be ready to go on day one.
Have you talked to President-elect Trump? He just issued a statement on True Social supporting you once again and saying this is a great day. Any response to the president-elect?
To the side.
Did he call you after the Wray announcement?
Do you think it was smart for him to resign, Mr. Patel? Thank you all.
I love the way he handled that. Give the media the same treatment that Democrats give the media, right? When Democrats don't want to answer questions, do the same thing. Play their silly game. When the media wants to ask silly questions, Do the same thing that they do. Ignore them. But, there's a reason why there's been so much hoopla around Kash Patel. And it's because Kash Patel is a no-nonsense type of guy. He's going to get to the bottom of some things that, dare I say, a lot of people don't want to get to the bottom of.
I've asked this Congress to investigate where has this money gone. The American people are owed that answer because it's our money. It's our taxpayer dollars.
And there's a lot of really good reason to be concerned because, the Ukraine was known as a, place of corruption, a place for money laundering.
Yeah. It's not like we sent $1 billion, as if that was even a small number to begin with, right? We've sent 100 times that to one country. I don't know how this Congress is allowed to get away with it. And Zelensky is out there. He went on the world stage and said, Russia fired a rocket into Poland, which would literally be an act of war. Well, it turned out that Russia fired no such rocket. It turned out that the rocket came from the Ukraine and was fired into Poland.
And it was a mistake, basically.
If Zelensky's going to go out there and beg the world for more money and come to the U.S. and sit in the well of our Congress and say, we want more money, and then call and demand the new Speaker of the House provide more and more money, and call Mitch McConnell and say, we need more and more machinery, he needs to be more prepared about global statements that bring us to the precipice of war than doing what he did last fall with this missile attack, or this missile launch, I should say. And we just can't have full faith and trust by giving a leader $100 billion and having him say, I'm not telling you where the money went.
Facts. I don't think we should send them any more money. And Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, agrees. Speaker Mike Johnson said that we will not be sending any more money to Ukraine. There will be no more new funding because it was just announced that Biden is sending like another $30 billion loan, right, to Ukraine. And it's kind of interesting that this is happening. Like, to me, this screams of corruption, right? It just screams corruption. Because you already had Putin talk about, I want to sit down with Trump and get into some peace talks. I think you had Zelensky mention the same thing. So why are we still trying to rush money and rush equipment over there as Biden is leaving the White House? To me, that it only leads to one logical answer. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm some type of idiot or something, but that screams corruption to me. But once again, Kash Patel is going to get to the bottom of some things that some people in some very powerful places don't want to get to the bottom of.
I'm not saying it's not there. Who are you going to get
So
that?
for instance, who is currently holding, this is way off the topic, but who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book.
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto from the Nashville school shooting of the Catholic school.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen that, right? It's not the Nashville police or PD saying we don't want this out. The FBI airmailed into that operation and said this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation. All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this, and you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts. That's how they play the game.
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? Oh,
I saw you
give out the list.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
Yeah.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may.
These predators are being protected because these predators are some politicians. They are, these celebrities. They are people who have a whole lot of money behind them in their bank accounts, right? They're very well-known individuals, which is why that list is being protected. Now, this is my guess. My guess is that we will never see that list. That list will never make it to the light of day. Why? Because somehow, some way, it'll be lost. Some building may catch on fire. Some place may be robbed, right? It'll be misplaced and lost. That's my assumption. Before Kash Patel walks in there and grabs a hold of that list and puts it out for the public to see, it'll be lost. That's my guess. Let me know if y'all think I'm correct on that. I don't think that list will ever see the light of day, and that's unfortunate. It is. It really is unfortunate. The great thing about this whole Kash Patel situation is that he is garnering a lot of steam as we get closer to his possible him having to sit in front of the Senate, because as you guys probably have heard, there was a lot of pushback on a lot of Trump's picks, obviously Matt Gaetz being one of them. I think he's going to be an anchor on OAN on a news network somewhere, I think. But there was a lot of pushback with Matt Gaetz. There was some pushback with Tulsi Gabbard. There was pushback with RFK Jr. And, of course, there was pushback with Pete Hegseth. There's pushback with Kash Patel, right? It seems like there's pushback with every single one of them. But Kash Patel was one of the individuals who some of the senators were saying that they weren't going to get behind. But now they're coming around because I think they realize and understand that the voters, MAGA, is not playing around this time. There is a big fuck around and find out sign right, plastered all over the internet for any senator to look at and to see, because a lot of folks like myself have been outspoken about, hey, if you guys don't confirm Trump's picks, we will do everything in our power to make sure that you never walk back into office, to make sure that you are voted out of office, right? Let me make my statement clear so nobody tries to twist my words. I'm not threatening anybody physically, okay? But we will do everything in our power to make sure you are voted out of office. And as you just saw, as the world just saw, folks like myself, like Elon Musk, right? And Elon Musk obviously has come out and stated that, hey, I'm going to put my money behind your primary opponent if you don't confirm Trump's picks. Obviously, Elon Musk is the richest person in the world at this point. I mean, the guy's worth like 300 billion or something crazy. Yeah, that is huge. But then not only that, when you have people like Tim Pool, when you have people like Benny, when you have people, independent media who have all come out and said, hey, F around and find out, okay? I think that's huge. I think that's huge because we showed that mainstream media doesn't have the power that it once had. Mainstream media tried to prop up Kamala for the past 3.5 to 4 months. They tried to prop her up at every twist and turn that they could and tried to down and bury Trump at every twist and turn that they could. And it didn't work. They failed miserably. Like, it wasn't like it was just like close, like Trump barely squeaked in. Like, no, they failed miserably. And so I think it is important that people in independent media, right, and folks like Elon Musk, let the Senate know, like, hey, we got the power now, okay? Like, you rhinos aren't in control anymore. Fall in line or get voted out. I think that's majorly important. And it's not like to brag or to boast or anything, but it's time to put up or shut up. It's time to put up or shut up. I'm sick of these rhinos getting in or running, right, and making it sound and seem as if they're these great Republicans, and then once they get in, they reveal their rhino face and, kind of push back against what it is that the Republican voters actually wanted and voted for. I'm sick of it.
And I think Kash Patel is going to be confirmed by the Senate. You look at his background. He has a serious professional background.
Yeah, so that's obviously Ted Cruz talking about it. Here's Mark as well.
Hey guys, I'm here with Kash, getting ready to kick off this whole nomination process. You excited about it?
I'm very excited, sir.
One thing that we have to do is we got to reform the FBI. Not that necessarily the agents in the field, man, they do a phenomenal job. But what's going on in the 7th floor, the Hoover building? They've weaponized the FBI. And the guy to clean that up and give the FBI back focused on doing their job, and that's to keep Americans safe and look out for American interests, that's Kash. Kash, you got anything you want to say?
Senator, I'm humbled and honored by your support, and I look forward to the advice and consent process to earn the trust and confidence of your colleagues and restore truth and transparency to the FBI.
It's almost like you had to rehearse. That is like perfect. Good guys. Good to see y'all.
And then you had senators like John Cornyn, who, famously was against Matt Gaetz, amongst others, right? Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Mitch McConnell, what was the other guy's name? I can't think of the other guy's name. There was another gentleman that wasn't too fond of Matt Gaetz as well. But all of these senators are now falling in line because I think they see the writing on the wall. And that is a good thing. That is a great thing. That is a phenomenal thing. I thought we were going to have a tough time getting some of these folks in, but now it's seeming like most, if not all, of Trump's picks will get in, obviously minus Matt Gaetz, but the rest of everyone will get in, and we won't have to wait some years before we get these folks out, because people like Lisa Murkowski, I don't think she's up again until like 2030. Like it's a long time from now, right? Which, hey, I wasn't going to forget, okay? Make no mistake about it. I was going to put it on the whiteboard. It was, hey, 2030, we got to vote her out. But, yeah, man, things are falling into place, and it's a great feeling, and it's great to see. But as always, let me know your thoughts and your opinions on all of this in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.